Welcome. Hi, guys. As always, I'm going to allow 5 minutes to get into the room. I think that's what I put down below. Anyways, check down below to see when this video really starts. I'm sure it's 5 minutes. Hi. So as you can see, I don't know if you guys have been watching my shows. I am traveling. So the next 6 videos are going to be from a hotel room because I'm traveling for about 3 weeks. So there's that. And thank you for the super sticker. Hard to know. Thank you so much. So I'm going to let everybody trickle into the room. There's only 3 people in the room right now, but those 3, can you please give this video a thumbs up? We're going to be talking about Love in Paradise, the Caribbean, a 90-day story, aka hashtag 90-day vacation bay, because that's what they should have called it. Let me check YouTube really quick to see when I said, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to check it here to see when I said this video was going to start. I hope everybody's having a good week thus far. 5 people. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. 5 people in the room. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. 7 people. 7 people in the room. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. You guys, if you are just joining me, you know you want to give it a thumbs up. Just do it. 8 people watching. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs uppers. Hi, Monica. 10 people in the room. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. There's only 7 likes, you guys. You can do better than that. I know you can. 5 minutes is when we're going to start. Great. 5 minutes. 10 people in the room. The Creative Cutie. Love the head wrap, babe. Thank you. Thank you. It's the Wrap Life. I got it on sale, you know. Sometimes it hurts me to spend no, not sometimes, all the time. It hurts me to spend more than $15 for a head wrap. Got it on sale. It was one of those off colors, but because it's like a gray pink or like a purplish lavender, it's like a gray lavender. I can wear it with a lot of different things. Hi, JW. Hi, Ramsterdam. Hi, the Domestic Gordita. Oh my God, you're still in the classroom? Well, put your earphone in. I had to go at this time because I'm working a crazy hour this week. I'm working 3 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And so, yeah, I only have the afternoons to go live. So that's why. So right now, this week and tomorrow, I'm going to go early. Tomorrow I'm doing with Chris. So we're going to go at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's going to be a normal. But today I had to do 2 videos. I'm going live twice today. One now and the next one at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then, yeah, I got to go to bed because I got to be up at 3 a.m. So thank you for liking my head wrap. Hi, Danny. Great. Yeah, Ramsterdam, I'm still in Colorado. Hi, friend. Hi. Purple Panda Power. Those colors really compliment you. Wow, you look gorgeous. Thank you so much. I'm going to put your comment up because I think it's, thank you. Also, Purple Panda Power, I've never seen your name before. So welcome or hello for the first time. You might have been watching me prior to. 17 people in the room. Do we have 17 likes? Can we get 17 likes? Give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. All right, we're going to get started in a couple seconds. I have my notes on my computer, so if it looks like I'm not looking into the camera, it's because I'm actually looking at my notes. And let me gear up the couple that we are going to talk about. Put this here in case you want to donate to the fund. 16 people in the room. Do we have 16 likes? Oh, thank you. Thank you, the Domestic Gordita. I appreciate that so much. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. I really, really do. I really do. I understand what that means. Here, so she said that. I understood. I understood you, girl. All right, let's get started. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of Love in Paradise, the Caribbean, a 90-day story. Hashtag 90-day vacation bay. This is episode 6. Oh, this was a good episode. I love a good 47-minute show. You know, unfortunately, this show is only available on Discovery Plus. I know a lot of people in other parts of the world, not the US, i.e. Canada, Europe, and other places, may not be able to get access to Discovery Plus at this time. I don't know why they're not putting it on TLC. To me, it is TLC worthy. I do hear that 90 Day the Other Way is coming up on Sunday. I'm going to very much try to go live on Sunday, but I have a little family gathering to get to, so I don't know if I'm going to be back at my hotel in time for that. But if I don't do it on Sunday, then I'll do it on Monday right after I talk about this. I'm going to try to fit these in, you guys. I'm going to stop being tired. I'm going to take an energy drink. I'm going to make sure I get these videos out to you guys. Okay, so let's see who our first couple is going to be. Let's just talk about them. I think that they had a pretty decent, oh my God, hard to know. Thank you for the super chat. I absolutely appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Honor me. I'm humbled. You guys are great. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so first couple that we are going to talk about, Amber and Daniel. All right, so let me bring up my notes for them and let's talk about him. All right, so we've got Amber and Daniel in Costa Rica. The first segment that I remember, the first scene with them, really the only scene I think of this episode that I remember, is that Daniel has a surprise for Amber because Amber's pretty much been in a foul mood this entire time because of the stress of the K1 visa. She feels like she's the only person putting in the energy to do this, and Daniel's just not doing his part. Very, very just like chilly willies, you know what I'm saying? And she's had the conversation with the neighbors, and the neighbors have given her some perspective. So his surprise trip is taking her to a waterfall, and it looks like it's pretty exclusive. They get there, and they're sitting on the rocks, and Amber says that she's really sorry to Daniel. She tells him that she may have overreacted about Carolina, and that she didn't mean to embarrass him in front of his friends and whatnot, and his family. And she says that she's just been so stressed out lately because she has just been working this entire year. She hasn't had the opportunity to see him. She is really in love with him. And even though this has been stressful, like she can't imagine her life without him. And she just wanted to say, I'm sorry for picking a fight with you. And then he says, yeah, because you're making this hard for me. Like, I don't want to fight with you, and I don't want this to be this. You make me feel bad, and I don't want to feel bad. And I thought that was really emotionally mature of him to say. Like, some of the things that Daniel was saying during that conversation, I said, you know what, Daniel, speak your truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, be honest with how you're feeling. Like, be vulnerable, because that's what's needed. And a lot of times someone his age, they're just not able to do that. Like, they just get all like hoo and machismo and shit. And it's just like, nobody has time for your machismo. Like, the time is running out. Like, you're being machismo, or you're being a certain way because you're expecting a certain outcome, or you feel you deserve, like, whatever, you know, say how you feel. And if you truly do love this person, give them the opportunity to make the correction. So Amber does apologize, and then he says that he loves her, and she says that she loves him as well. And then they go and do a cannonball into the waterfall, and it looks like they have a great time thereafter. I mean, I can imagine that it's exhausting being tired. And she says that in her normal life, she is so used to taking care of everything and being the one in control. And it's hard to relinquish that power and then have someone not do what they're supposed to do. And I 100% understand Amber. Right or wrong, I understand that. And like, I think that I would be frustrated in her position too. And I know what it's like in Central America to try to get shit done, you know? So I applaud her for being mature enough to admit that she's wrong. Okay, let's talk about the next couple. So the next couple that I would love to talk about is Martine and Steven, because I think something really interesting happened in this one. And I'm proud of Steven for his words as well. So after last episode where Martine pushes him and tells him not to do this to her. I'm just like over her at this point. Just stank ass attitude. And she gets up and goes to the gym, girl. Doesn't even tell him, hey, I'm going to the gym, because he's sleeping on the couch. So let him get up and go sleep in the bed, the comfortable bed. She bounces. So he then orders them breakfast and out on the veranda, and she comes back from the gym and he's like, hey, where have you been? And she's like, I went to the gym. And he's like, okay, well, you couldn't have woken me up. And she's just like, you looked comfortable laying there. And at this point, I know she's being petty. If you really love somebody and they didn't actually do anything to you, and they actually haven't done anything to you in 2 years, the thing you're still mad about, and you let them sleep on the couch until letting them get up and go when you're the one who pushed him. Anyways, I guess I'm just still mad about her behavior. I don't like it. And so he's just like, you know what? Like, I feel like you are doing this on purpose. I feel like you are making excuses and saying things and being a certain way, and I don't like it. And it's making me not trust this relationship. So, like, what's going on? And she's like, well, I know that going through your phone was wrong, and I don't want to be that person. Looking at your text messages was a breach. Like, I get that. But I still feel like you're going to have to do more to make me earn your trust. And I said to myself, it has been 2 years, girl. 2 years. And you are still upset about this. And so then we get a little explanation from Steven in a confessional. Steven says that when him and Martine started dating each other, he didn't consider it serious or exclusive. And so within the first year of them talking and dating and seeing each other, yes, he did hang out with some girl, or like, start dating another girl or sleep with another girl, what have you. And then she ended up finding the text messages in his phone, but that relationship had ended 5 months prior. And so that's he started to realize that, like, hey, I guess Martine is for me and I really like her. I prefer her over anything. So let me just stop talking to this person. So one thing, I'm like, why did you keep the text message thread? But also, I'm somebody who keeps text message threads too. And someone would have to go really far back in my text messages in order to find a conversation that happened 5 months ago. And if I did go back into somebody's phone like a lunatic and find conversations that happened 5 months ago, I guess I would be hurt, because I guess I would be like, well, 5 months ago, I thought we were exclusive. But she's still holding on to that. And she says that she wants to trust him. And I said, why are you not able to chalk it up to the game? Why are you not able to just be like, you know what, maybe we didn't talk about being exclusive at that point. Or it was, 5 months ago and he hasn't been talking to this person for 5 months. And so she ends up saying that she's now making excuses for why she shouldn't trust him. She's looking for things. She's being mistrustful on purpose. She says that at this point, she either needs to just really let go of what he did or how he made her feel and move forward, or get out of the relationship, because her holding on to the fact that he cheated on her is not healthy for her or him. But I still hate the way she makes it seem like you still haven't earned back my trust. And at that point, if it's been 2 years since the indiscretion, then I'm never going to earn your trust back. And if her idea is, oh, you need to propose to me in order to earn your trust back, to me, those two things don't equate. Somebody proposing to you does not automatically mean that their desire or their ability to cheat on you is taken or goes away. I don't know, does she think that once somebody buys a ring, physically humans are just unable to cheat when they buy a ring? Or when they say they want to marry somebody, they're just we can't cheat, we can't do it. It's just weird to me. It was very, very weird what's going on. And so Steven says that he doesn't want to lose her. And that he finds himself still knowing that she's the one, but he also doesn't want to be pressured into anything. And I'm like, you know what? I'm with you, Steven. I absolutely understand what you're talking about. Do I still have their picture up? Yes, I do. Jeez Louise. Why didn't you guys tell me? Why didn't you tell me I still had that picture up the whole time? So it looks like next episode, he's going to go ahead and buy a ring for her, and then is going to say something at the beach that is stupid. Like, oh, I don't know if I want to give it to you, bought a ring for you. And at that point, I'm just like, keep your funky ring. Okay. Don't bait me with it. But I also feel like it's the same thing with her. Make a choice. Everybody just needs to sit down and make a choice and have a conversation. And so he says that he knows that he hasn't had many serious conversations with her. And so he was using that opportunity to do so. And I feel like it was the right thing to do, honestly. Okay, so that's it with Steven and Martine. I'm about over with them. I just want her to not have such a funky attitude. I just want her to not have a funky attitude. That's all I want. Okay. Demi, hello, Australia. Yay. I am going live in the middle of the day. So I'm glad that you were able to catch this video. Hi, Baba Baby Binky Blanket. Hi, Jasmine. How are you? How are you? Okay, next couple that we are going to move to, we are flying through these, you guys, is Kay and Mark. All right, so our very first scene with Kay and Mark is Kay like in a thong on the beach, shadow boxing or whatever that's called when you like fake punch. And they've got like the camera, like a drone going around her, like they're panning. And I'm just like, oh God, we know has a hot body. We know. And Mark is in the house and he is washing dishes. Oh no, sorry. He takes her to a resort first. He wants to impress Kay, and Kay says, you know, I feel like Mark wants to impress me. So now we're spending the night at a resort. So they get on a boat and they go to a resort that is all little like houses, little cabins that are like on stilts in the water. And they like jump on the bed together and then they kiss. So then we know they're doing that. Then Kay says that she's not going to California. They end up having a conversation and she says she's not going to go. And that she says that she is not in love with Mark. And she doesn't tell him, but she tells the camera. I think she tells him that she's not as in love with him as he is with her. And she does feel bad about that. But she's like, I can't go to California with you. Like, I'm not going to leave here. I like my life here. This is where I'm the most comfortable and I'm not leaving. And I said, good for you, girl. Because Mark came here with the intention of giving you an ultimatum, which he did. Not wanting to learn your language, basically telling you that he didn't want to learn your language because he doesn't want to fail at something, because he's really bad at learning languages. Then he also tells her that he's only going to learn it if she agrees to come to the US and live with him in California. Like, that's just the way it goes. He doesn't want to go home by himself, or he doesn't want to do a long distance thing. That's a no talk, no tell. What is it? No something. He doesn't want to do that thing where, you know, he doesn't really know what she's doing and she doesn't really know what he's doing and all that stuff. So like, I'm just like, he's asking her to do so much. It doesn't make any sense to me. So the next day she's on the beach doing that and he's in the house and he gets on video chat with his homegirl, Genevieve, who he says is like a little sister to him. He tells Genevieve that Kay said no, that Kay's not moving to California. And he says that this is the first time in his life that he's ever really opened up to a woman and that, you know, he feels like he's done what he's supposed to do, basically. That's what I got from that. Because I'm like, so you think that just because you took this opportunity at this point in your life to finally open up to a woman, that like all of your dreams should come true? And that, you know, I don't know. I just don't understand that, why people go, I was so honest. Don't I deserve a reward? Don't I deserve the cookie? And it's like, no, you should just be honest all the time. That way you have a better chance of getting the cookie. Like, why is it that you're like, I did this and I didn't get what I want? Oh, grow up. So he says that he's almost 40 and he doesn't want to be alone. Like, he really wants to like make the commitment to Kay. But he says that when he tries to talk about the future with Kay, that she's a day-by-day person and she just doesn't want to talk about the future. It's because he's trying to lay down plans and make concrete decisions about her life and their life without truly consulting her and really understanding what it is that she wants. And so Genevieve says, you know, then he also tells Genevieve that Kay is not in love with him, but she loves him. And Genevieve's like, well, you love your brother, you love your friends. And I was like, nah, she doesn't love Mark like a brother. She doesn't love Mark like a friend. I think she does love him a little bit more than that, but maybe not in love where she's like, I can't imagine my life without this person. And I think mainly it's because Mark just came in with this ultimatum for her. And she was just like, no, I can't live up to that. I'm not going to put myself in a stressful situation trying to give you what you want. It's not going to happen. And I'm like, she's a recovering addict. She's an addict. Like, you got to let the addict live the life that they need to live. Be tranquil, you know, because you don't know what could happen. And so Genevieve says, you know what, Mark, it sounds like you're putting a lot on her. Like, you're saying you have to come move to California. You have to learn to speak my language. Like, I'm not giving anything up for you. You need to give up everything that you are and everything that you want and come move with me. And then Genevieve says, would you consider moving somewhere else if it worked better for her? And he's like, you know what, a week ago, I would have said, hell no. And then I thought to myself, you would have said no? So then you're not really in love with her. You're only in love with her if she does what you want her to do. Because if you were really in love with her, you would try to make it work. You would figure it out. You would ask for what the compromise is. If you wanted to spend time with her and be with her, you would figure that out. Now, if your non-negotiable was like, we have to be monogamous, that's understandable. But your non-negotiable can't be, you need to move to my country, learn my language, drop everything that you are so that you can be with me in Huntington Beach, which is a cold ass beach. Like, don't nobody from a tropical beach, from a Caribbean beach with Caribbean sand, want to go to Huntington Beach, California, girl. They do not. I'm telling you. So Genevieve really makes him think about his attitude. I don't know what he's going to say to Kay, but that is the end of their segment. All right, let me bring down my notes. What are you guys saying? There's new emojis? Did y'all peep YT's new emoji looks? I don't know. Patricia Rodriguez says, maybe some people can't learn a language, but didn't he live there for 10 years? I think it shows a certain mindset to live somewhere for 10 years and not learn anything. I don't know if he lived there for 10 years. I do know where you got that number from. Somebody did live somewhere for 10 years, but I feel like he lived there for like 5. But yeah, a lot. To me, if you've lived a place for a year and you are surrounded by people speaking a certain language, you should be able to pick up something. Like, I mean, it's one thing when you move to the States and you're just in your community and you don't have to talk to anybody in English. But even those people still understand English, but they can't speak it. Like, I know plenty of Spanish speakers who can understand it, but they're just unable to speak back. That's the same way with me. Like, I can understand more Spanish than I can speak because I can never think about how to conjugate a verb, girl. It's so hard thinking of conjugation. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Busola, welcome. Glad he finally thought about sacrificing for her, just saying. Didn't he run a hostel? Yes, he ran a hostel with one of his homeboys. But I don't know if I think he was a bartender there too at the hostel. I think that's what was going on. Yes, he did. Dude, that's what I'm saying. He lived and he worked there. Yep. So it's like willful. It's willful. It's very like, I'm not going to learn this language because I'm bad at languages. Like, I'm not the best at languages either, but if I lived someplace for a year, I'd be able to pick it up. Especially, yeah, this is Spanish. He's from California. He's surrounded by Spanish. Surrounded. So, anywho. Okay, let's move on to, is this our last couple? Damn, I flew through these. Yeah. All right, so let's get to our last couple, our favorite couple. So much to say about Ariana and Sherlin because Ariana shows how young she is and naive she is at all times. I find myself being on Sherlin's side more than Ariana's, and I don't know why. Sometimes I'm just like, am I like a He-Man woman hater? But I'm not. Okay. Anywho, let me bring up my notes so I can talk about them because a lot happened in their segment. So first we have a segment. First segment we see with them is her and her sisters, her mother, on a bus going into the real Jamaica to see Sherlin's abode. Okay. They get to the house. Sherlin lives on the bottom floor. And you go in, the ceiling is so low that you could literally touch it. He's got a bed, a full-size bed. He's got a bathroom space with a sink and a toilet, perhaps a shower, and the curtain. There's no door. It's a curtain. He's got a little kitchen area, which just has a stove and counter space and a sink. And I'm judging harshly because I'm judging Ariana and her family saying the things they said about his apartment, because I'm like, what did you expect? Now, his apartment was relatively small. I can't say that, family members whose houses I've been to is that small. No. However, for him to not live in his family home and to have his own apartment, and I don't know, maybe his family does live above. Who knows? They didn't exactly explain. But this is his little space. And the fan is broken. There's roosters outside crowing at all times of the day. And they just keep making comments about like, oh my God, the kitchen is not even a real kitchen. There's no stove, no oven. It's just a stove. I'm like, yeah, there's no oven. What are you talking about? Like an oven, that's like kind of a luxury, right? Not everybody has an oven, but a stovetop, you can get down with a stovetop. You can make a lot of things with a stovetop. So I'm just like, it's very, very humble. And I'm like, well, what did you expect? What did you expect him to live? And so they're like, oh my God, it's so hot in here. And oh, she had to go to the bathroom. And she's like, everyone's going to hear me pee. Oh, what? And then so everybody leaves. And it's just like, she's just so young-minded to me, in my opinion. But she is 25, but she's still so young-minded. So then her mother just wanted to see the apartment before she left so she could make sure that Ariana was taken care of. And my thing is like Ariana's 25-year-old grown woman made the choice to come to Jamaica and let a random in her, right? And so my thing is like, now you want to check up on her? Like, go ahead and let Ariana be the adult she wants to be. Okay? Big girls make big girl decisions. And so then the mother's like, oh, Karen's like, okay, take care of my daughter, my grandchild, as she leaves. And they're just like, okay, she leaves. And then Ariana takes her parents, sibling, or takes her family to the airport. And then she goes back to Sherlin's place. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Yay, Jasmine. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. I did appreciate it so much. Okay, what did Patricia say? Patricia said because she's an idiot. She met a guy, got pregnant, and thinks that she's such a prize that this middle-aged man is going to want to give up life for her. Girl. What does Creative Cutie say? Yeah, as a polyglot, I don't understand people not being able to learn ever, especially with immersion. You have to really want to try, though. Yeah, that's true. Polyglot is somebody who speaks different languages. Demi says, haha, I can't handle these two. Poor Sherlin. My heart goes out to him. It was just meant to be a nut. Maybe it was just not meant to be. Anywho, thank you so much, Jasmine, for that super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, so let me get back to it. Yeah, so she gets back to his place afterwards, and she's like, oh, you changed the seats. You changed the sheets. And he's like, yep. And then he also bought a new fan for her because it's really, really hot and his fan wasn't working. So he went out and got her a new fan, or got himself a new fan so that she would be more comfortable. And then she purchased this item, or brought this item that allows him to hear the heartbeat. And that was a really sweet moment. She's like, you're going to have to help me do this because my mom had to help me do this. And I was just like, you're really lame. Just read the directions, girl. And if your mom has already done it, you should know how to do it. And so she's like, you got to push hard. I'm like, no, you push hard. So anyways, he hears his son's heartbeat, and it's a joyous moment for him, So they spend the night together, and she says, you would think that it would, our first time together in 6 months, it'd be a lot of sex, but I'm not really feeling it, being pregnant. They brush their teeth together. He makes her dinner, and he's cooking chicken for her. And she makes a comment about the pieces he throws out. She's like, the chickens are cannibals. And I was just like, oh, God. So he says this is his opportunity to really take care of her. He even does some video of her sleeping, and she had a cute little night set. I was like, oh, that's cute. Little short set, tie-dye. And so he's like, this is my opportunity to really pamper her and to be, you know, like a boyfriend type for her. And it was really nice. And I said, you know, good for him wanting to do that, to take care of her. And she was like, it's nice to have the father of my baby taking care of me. And I just got annoyed with that again, because I was like, this man is not your boyfriend. You made a decision out of his baby. Like, what do you mean? It's like whatever. But anyways, he was happy to do so. So if that made her happy, I'm happy for them both. That's fine. And then they go to have dinner. So he takes her out on a date night. She's like, it's really nice to have a date night with him. And I was like, girl, it's like, it feels like everything is his fault. And I think the reason why she thinks everything is his fault is because he won't do the K1 visa. He won't do it. He says he won't be forced into marriage. And she just thinks like that's the only recourse. Like that is really the only thing she wants. And she keeps saying, I don't want to force you. I don't want you to come to the US and then be unhappy. That's not what I want. But I want you to come to the US. And I want you to want to come to the US. But I don't want to force you to come. What is it? That's the same thing, girl. Like you already know he doesn't want to come to the US. So let this whole thing die. Let it die. So anyways, they go to have a lobster dinner, girl, and he says he really likes this lobster place because they catch the lobster fresh. And I thought they were gonna say a reasonable price. She was like, oh, I'll take a small lobster, which is like $25. And he's like, oh, I'll take a $30 lobster. And I said, who has $55 for lobster? Who has 55 US for lobster? Sherlin got 55 US for lobster, or did production pay for this? Production must have paid for it, girl. Because I'm like, you don't have that money. And if so, now I have questions, Sherlin. Now I have questions. So then he asks her, what about the baby's name? And she's just like, well, my dad likes the baby's name that you wanted, but my mom doesn't like it. And he's like, that's great. And she's like, well, I don't really like it either. And he's like, why? And so then it comes out that he wants to name the baby Odin, which is, you know, Thor's father. If you guys follow like Norse mythology or even fucking Thor, the movie, or American gods or anything, if you know of just like any other northern, you know, Norse gods, you know that like Odin has an eye patch over his eye. He's the All-Father. He's, you know, from Asgard, you know, Ragnarok, all of that, right? So he's like, that's my people. I come from Vikings. And listen, both me and Ariana cut our eyes at him. And I'm like, I mean, you do have some angular features, bro, but it's been a minute since you were a Viking. You don't want to name your kids something else. You are also the descendants of slaves, also descendants of Africans, sir. Now, here's the deal. I don't think there's anything wrong with him wanting to name his kid Odin, but I think it's weird that he's like, I'm descendant from Vikings. I'm like, keep that information to yourself because you sound silly. You sound silly saying that. I mean, unless one of your parents is literally from, I don't know, Finland, Norway. Is it Norway? I think it's Norway. What's up there? Finland, Norway, Amsterdam. What's up there? It's Finland, Norway, and one other country, I think. Is it the Netherlands? I'm not sure. But like, unless your peoples are truly from there, or like your mother or your father, like you need to keep all that I'm a Viking out of this conversation. That's weird. And so she's like, not only do I not want to name my kid that, but I also don't believe that that's true. And I was like, there's nothing wrong with Odin. Like, I don't think it's a bad name. I was like, maybe give him the middle name. And then so they start talking about the last name. And then this is where I get frustrated. So he says, you know, the baby should have my last name. And she's like, well, no, if you're not going to be there, I'm not going to name the baby your last name. There's no reason for this kid to be running around with a last name that's different than the people who he's with if you're not going to be there. Now, here's the truth. I agree with her. However, I think that it's manipulative to tell him that. It's like all of these things are like, well, if you don't come to the States and marry me so that you could be with me immediately when this child is born, then anything that you want is not going to be considered. Because if you're not going to be there. And he's like, who says I'm not going to be there? And she's like, well, you haven't proven anything to me. I've given up everything. And he's like, the last 6 months, I have already explained to you what it's been like for me here. I depend on tourism. I lost my job. I had no money. There was nothing that I could do for you. I couldn't even sustain myself. I had to go down to the river to fish in order to get food. What don't you get about that? And she's like, well, I had to quit school. I had to move out of my apartment and go live with my parents. And he said, you didn't have to do any of that. And she said, yes, I did. I couldn't do this and have this baby by myself. You know, in a different town, I had to move back to a town I hate. And he's like, but you made the decision to have this baby. And she's just crying. And I said, exactly. What is it that you want him to do? It's like, on one hand, you say, oh, there's a super sticker. Hard to know. Thank you so much again. You're being so generous. Like, I mean, it is just, what did Ramterson say? He can name that baby IKEA. Or, can you write that name phonetically for me, Ramsterdam? Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Write that name phonetically for me. I don't know how to pronounce the O with the line through it. And then Creative Cutie says she has a lot of first world problems for her explanation of sacrifice. Exactly. I agree that if she gets there, here's what I would do if I were her. First of all, he doesn't need to know what the baby's last name is. There's no way for him to actually, she's gonna show him the birth certificate. She could hyphenate the name and then drop it later if she wanted to. Or she could give the baby his name. And then when she feels like he's not doing his part and she's done trying, I guess, begging him or asking him for support and he's not giving her anything, change the baby's last name before he gets into school. Done. It's arduous to change the child's last name, but it would make more sense. If by the time that kid gets into school and starts to recognize that they have a different last name than their mother, change it. Like, there are so many options she has, but telling him that is manipulative. It's trying to get him to do something. And he says, that's silly. Like, what you're talking about is silly. Why would you name him your family's last name and take away my legacy? And she's like, well, you're not proving to me that you're doing anything. I'm being so understanding of your circumstances, but you're not being understanding of mine. And I'm the one sacrificing you. You're not doing anything. And she's like, I know he doesn't have any money. And I know he doesn't have anything, but like he could do something. And then I said to myself, what is that something? Why don't you name it? Why don't you say, since you can't send me any money, can you, I don't know, call me every day? I don't know, like be on video chat when I go on these doctor's appointments. Like, what is it that she wants from him? And to me, what it is that she wants from him is literally for him to say, yes, I will come to the States and marry you because I want to be a family. And then later on in a confessional, she says that she doesn't care if he doesn't want to be there for her, but she wants him to be there for the baby. And I said, what? Like, you do want him to be there for you, because otherwise then why would he marry you? What is it that you need him to do right now? If he like, what do you need him to do right in this moment now for the baby? There's nothing. You're the only person that could do for the baby right now. You're in complete control. So like, you want him to guarantee that he's going to call every day and be there for the kid? Like do I believe Sherlin's going to call that kid every day? No. However, if I want someone to do something, I'm not going to tell them that I don't believe they're going to do it, because all they're going to do, which is what, especially immature people, all they're going to do is just be like, well, fine, then you don't think anything of me. You don't think that I'm going to do it. So then I just won't. You just let them fail. That's what you do. When you feel like someone's going to fail, you don't tell them you think they're going to fail. You just let them fail. And then be like, oh, well, I already told you this is what I want. You're not doing it. So these are the consequences. Like, you don't need to run after a grown man. You already explained to him what you were going to do. And that's, I think, a lot of times what happens with people is that they think that if they just like keep harping on things and bothering people and saying things over and over and over again, that that's going to somehow make the action change. And it's just like the same thing with a coworker. You tell the coworker, hey, we're doing this project. This is your half. This is my half. Then you check in with them. Did you do your side? And they're like, no. And you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to let you know right now, if you don't get your side done, I'm going to let them know that this was your side and that you didn't do it. Or I didn't even say that. I'm like, oh, okay, but just let you know, I'm going to follow up with our boss and just let them know how we've divvied everything up, right? And then so that they know that the boss is going to be aware of whose responsibility is what. And then you keep updating your boss when you get stuff done. If your boss asks you, what about Sally? Did Sally get her work done? You go, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know. I haven't checked in with Sally. Even though you might know Sally hasn't done anything. But you don't keep doing that. You just tell an adult one time. You tell an adult, maybe if you are in love with them, you tell them twice. But you don't need to keep telling a grown man something. Okay. So she says that the word is smoarboard. It's a type of toast. Am I saying it wrong? Then she says the O is, or that letter is a sound not really pronounced in English. Think Swedish Chef on the Muppets. I don't even remember how they spoke. To me, it was just like, I don't remember. I don't remember how they spoke. Okay, anyways, Rachel. Hi, Rachel. Welcome. She says her comment about the name Odin and not believing about his answers is really annoying. I know this is a big leap, but she seems so xenophobic and ignorant. I feel the same way. Rachel, tell me. I don't feel like I'm like, you're descendant of Vikings? Where? Okay. It's weird. It's like people telling me that they're Native American. I'm like, I'm Native American too. And I'm not even lying. I'm Native American too, on my mother's side of the family. I literally chased it back through Ancestry.com. But would I ever tell somebody? No. Because I'm so far removed from that culture that I can't say like, oh, I'm Native American. I'm like, I think my mom is like 1/16. So that makes me like 1/32. It's like the woman who's Native American is my great, is it great grandmother? Or is it either two greats? Wait, grandmother's mother was her. Grandmother's mother. Great. The Mary Roberts, my Native American ancestor, was my great-great-grandmother. She was my grandmother's grandmother. So anyways, Rachel, tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're thinking, Rachel. Like, I listen, to me, if your grandparent is something, like if his grandparent was Finnish or Norwegian, that's fine. I can see you saying you're a descendant of Vikings. Okay. But like, when? When? All right. Anyways, Patricia says, I don't think he's in a position to do anything for the kid, but at the very least, the kid can know that he is loved and Sherman can call him. I agree with you, Patricia. I absolutely agree with you. This day and age, video chat is everything. You could literally put any kind of tablet in front of that kid from the time that they're born to forever. And it's not like, what's her name? Ariana would not be able to afford to take him to Jamaica, once every 3 years or once every 5 years, right? It's not that much of a leap. The fact is that her and her mother and siblings went to Jamaica twice in 6 months. So like she not hard up, they're not pressed, but like for them to expect him monetarily to give, I just don't think that's fair. Like, it'd be one thing if he like purchased things for the kid and then maybe he could mail it. But even then, like Caribbean mailing, like usually you send a giant like barrel or something, or you send it with someone. It's not that easy to do the mail back and forth. Okay. So Rachel says, listen, it's not a lot, but also he's already said so much silly stuff. I'm like, girl, this is what you pause on. My issue with him this episode is that I feel like he could have cleaned a little. I thought he did clean. He bought her some Doritos, you know, he wanted to pamper her with Doritos and Gatorade. Listen, you meet people where they're at, okay? You meet people where they're at. Patricia says maybe they can visit once a year. As the kid gets bigger, he can spend more and more time with his dad. I agree with you. It's not uncommon for people to send their kids, especially Caribbean, you know, countries and island countries. It's not that unheard of for you to let your kid stay with somebody for the summer. Now, I'm not saying she needs to do it right away. Like, she could just wait till the child can talk, or wait until she's more comfortable, you know, doing whatever. Because I'm not gonna tell a mom just to do whatever. But I'm like, at age 5, she could send him to Jamaica, you know, for 2 months out of the year. And that could be Sherlin's contribution to help her. Hearing him talk about how much COVID has devastated the island was sad, and it really hit me. Yeah, like and then he actually has COVID, so he couldn't go, and she was upset about that too. That's next episode. But yeah, it's just like, when your whole money that you make is based on tourism, and the tourism stops, even for 6 months, you can't afford to feed yourself, so you go to the river to fish. He's lucky that they could even do that in Jamaica. Some places you can't even do that shit. Either there's no river to fish in, or you can't just fish in anybody's river. Oh, clean up those mouse droppings. But for him, maybe it wasn't that big a deal. Mouse droppings are bad, though. Like, I heard that they're really bad. Oh my God, hard to know. Hard to know. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. It's too much. It's too much. Stop. Stop. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. Doritos for her and lobster for him. Nope, I don't see it. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Creative Cutie says, make it rain on Was, since some of us can't right now. Thank you guys. I appreciate it so. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. I'm like, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Ugh, girls, I got things to do. I can't be crying. I get migraines. I got things to do. I got another show to go live on. Speaking of such, I'm going to give myself 45 minutes to like relax before I go live at the next one. I think that's the end of this episode, you guys. And yeah, so join me on tonight if you want to. I'm talking about Love on Stage with Mrs. Kev on Stage on the Kev on Stage Studio app. Next, if you haven't gotten it, you should get it. I don't know how much it costs. It's in the App Store. It looks like this. And as you can see, I have Calm. I need it to put myself to sleep. Yeah, guys, so that's the end of this video. And I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. What did JW say? Or Joy? What'd you say, Joy? He gave her a game plan last episode, didn't he? Didn't he say something about coming to stay for a few months at a time? Yeah. So he's going to do a tourist visa, and he would come and stay with her for a little bit just to see if he would like it. And I'm like, you should go there in the winter so you can see if you like it. Because it's not going to be hot all year round. Go at the worst time so you can really get an idea of what you're going to get into. But that's what I'm saying. Next episode, it turns out that he has COVID, so he's not able to go. And so she's upset about that because she doesn't want him there for her. She wants him there for the baby. She wants him there for the birth. And I'm just like, girl, stop trying to make fetch work, okay? You cannot turn this vacation fling, vacation one time, pumps and a bumps into a lifelong situation. Sometimes that works, but in your case, it's not going to work. And it's not going to work at least the way you want it to work. Oh, you guys are so generous. Stephanie, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And hard to know. Thank you again. We have to support the journey. Don't, please. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm in October. I'm gonna start it again. I'm gonna see if everything is okay. I gotta add another video to my other channel and give you guys an update on it. I'm just so like anxious and nervous about it. But I want to thank you guys so much for all of this support. You guys have spoiled me on today. Today was a spoiled day. Thank you. Okay. Whew. Stephanie. Whew. Thank you. Hard to know. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. Jasmine says, nap time, damn sorry. On Calm, it's one of my favorites to fall asleep. Oh, on Calm, my favorite to fall asleep to is Sienna the Sleepy Sloth. It's a kid's story, but I just like it. It makes me fall asleep every single time. I don't even know the end of it. I keep trying to get to the end of it, but it puts me to sleep. Nap time. What were you saying? What were you saying? Yeah. Let me look it up. Let me look up nap time. Okay, I'm gonna go now before you give me any more super chats and I freak out. Okay, bye. You guys have a fantastic week. We'll talk about this episode next week along with The Other Way. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I will see you in like 45 minutes if you want to watch Love on Stage. If you don't, I will see you tomorrow if you want to watch me and Chris and Say What with Juan and Chris. If you don't want to do that, then I will see you next week for this and The Other Way. Have a fantastic week. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Thanks, Ramsterdam. Bye, Creative Cutie. Bye, Jasmine. Bye, Stephanie. And bye, Hard to Know. And bye, everybody else. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate you guys.